21st century singing practice. We've never had it so good. We don't know we're born. Let me show you my rig. Okay. First and probably most important is the IsoVox 2. Weird, huh? Whoops. I can't turn it sideways because of, you can look it up online because I've put it too close to the wall. What it is designed for recording, but crucially for practice. So when you're in there, there's a microphone. I'm using a ribbon. I'm into ribbons at the moment. I'm going to do a comparison of ribbons. They're wonderfully intimate. It's a Beyer ribbon microphone in there. And put your microphone in there. I'm using an old phone with tracks, backing tracks, YouTube stuff, all sorts of things, my own things. They both go into TC Helicon. I'll put some light in it in a minute. Voice Live Touch 2, headphones in there. Coming back to this then, what it does is cuts down the leakage of your voice so you can practice. It also stops external sounds coming in so you could record. It's expensive. I went to the dealers in North London and took my phone to try it out because it's expensive. Did I say it's expensive? It's expensive. Put my phone outside and talked as I'm doing now. Left it running, recording, put my head in there, pulled down the flat, which we have here. And the reduction I thought was sufficient for someone like me who lives in a flat, as many of us these days do. So what are you going to do? So let me show you, it occurred to me, let me show you now the difference in volume, because I only did it the once before I bought it. But let me try it now. So if I'm roughly the same place, maybe I'm doing things there which are quite loud, and I wouldn't want to do that because I know my neighbours can hear. I'm going to do the same thing with my head in this strange device. Don't worry about it because you get used to it. It gets a bit warm, I can tell you. Doing the same thing in here with the flap open. Doing the same thing in here with the flap open. Let me put the flap in for the full enclosure. Now I'm doing it with the flap enclosed. Same thing I'm doing. Turn around and open up. So that'll be interesting for me because I haven't done it since I bought it. I'm interested to look back at the video and I might put some comments on if it's. I hope I'm not disappointed. Too late now. Got spent the money. There is got a LED thing there just to make her environment. Yay. Okay. Let me get a torch. Actually, I'm going to put the light on. It doesn't look as nice with the light on, but you've seen that bit, so I can show you the rest. Facing the wall outside of the IsoVox. Facing the wall outside of the IsoVox. With my head inside the IsoVox. With the cover open. My head inside the IsoVox with the cover open. With my head inside the IsoVox with the cover closed. With my head inside the IsoVox with the cover closed. It works. I think it does. We shall see. There you go. What else are you to do? Let me tell you something. Very dangerous. Very dangerous. I don't know if I'm in shot because I haven't got the thing round. I'm upside down. Oh, there I am. Oh my God. Very dangerous thing. You want to practice. There's people around. Neighbours there. I don't like being disturbed. I'm sure they don't either. So, here's a dangerous thing. When you're going for some of your notes, some of your top notes, anything actually, but particularly when you're going for your top notes, you need to explore how you can get those notes up there. So you need to put out. One person told me it's aggression. I think if you look up aggression, the etymology of it, it doesn't mean smacking someone, though it could. I think it comes from to put out. And if you're a performer, if you're a musician, you're a singer, you're going to put out. That's the whole point of it, isn't it? That you put out. If, when you're trying these things, and you're pretty sure they're going to crack, or you don't know, but you're trying, you're exploring. So it's not going to be a nice sound. You're trying to look at the limits and so on and so forth. If in the back of your mind there's a little thought that says, the neighbours, family maybe, people are going to hear me. I'll tell you what happens, to me anyway, is that there's a confusion and a tension start. You might not notice it because it's subtle, those thoughts, a confusion and a tension. Part of you is trying to go for this, but another thought is saying, keep it in case it goes wrong, or keep it in because it's too no good whatsoever. What do you think that does to the instrument? Foot out, hold back at the same time. You're asking for trouble. In my experience, very dangerous thing. If this enables you, and it does psychologically as well, because you feel like you're in a space, not much space actually, you feel like you're in something. And if it works externally, which it did in the shop, we shall see later on this is so valuable. It's expensive. It would be nice if they brought out one, or somebody brought out one, half the price or less. But for now, it's the only thing I could find. I've been looking for a long, long time. I was even thinking of making a gas mask type thing with a thing. I thought I'd probably suffocate myself. So this is probably as good as it gets. It's kind of a case of you practice or you don't. Or you practice and strangle. I think you're better off not practicing than practicing and strangling, because you've developed that. You've got to undo it. How I practice then? Innumerable backing tracks. Some of them really nice, really good. Download them or stream them live with your Wi-Fi. There you go. Your microphone. Some of you may know I've got a number of microphones and I enjoy that. Beautify it a bit with this. I've got a few TC Helicon devices. This one's got all sorts in it. I'm nowhere near. I've just scratched the surface. Actually, I just scratched the actual surface earlier on, unfortunately, but it's still working. I dropped it. But all sorts of stuff. So I have 250 presets, all sorts of things you can configure. And it's interesting, actually. But I use it then here, for the moment, with a little bit of reverb. You can have a little bit of compression if you want, all sorts of things. You can just sort it out. I'd use a little bit of reverb and a few effects, doubling if I want to play. Play is a very important word, I think. We use that for music in England. You're going to play the piano, you don't work the piano. A guy used to say to me when I saw me loading up all my gear, "Oh, you're out playing tonight." Yeah, I know it's work as well. We've got to be professional, haven't we? But actually, let's be truthful, it's play. That's what we enjoy. If you've got the enjoyment there, that's a good thing, because you're enthusiastic. You can find things, you search, you explore. So let's keep the play in. So it helps you play. Times when you don't feel like practicing, you put on a few sounds, put on a few tracks, and you do something, at least keeps your muscles, and then it often leads to you exploring stuff as well. It's a very important thing. So that I find very useful. So what happens there, the mic goes into that, the Voice Live Touch 2, mic goes into the Voice Live Touch 2, I plug my Beats into the headphone socket, I plug my old phone with the SD card with everything on it into that, balance them up, close the flap, come out 5 hours later. Often 5 minutes, it gets a bit warm. Come out later. Fantastic. I don't want to bang on about this, but compared to 2010 years ago, phenomenal. You plug in your 8-track recorder, which you can buy any number of them these days for not much money. I know it's money, it is, and lots of things that it builds up. But compared to what it was, please, it's fantastic. You're going to have to trust me on that. I'm older than most of you. It's fantastic. Don't ignore it. Just don't take it for granted. Of course you're going to take it for granted because you were born into this world, but don't take it for... It's fantastic. Make use of it. What else have we got? This is what I do as well. So my friend, this is the way things have gone. This is an Android device that he didn't use anymore. It's old, slow, but it hasn't got to do much for me. How do I switch it on? They're all different. I think this one's at the side here. So I use this. Will it focus, I hope? I found this one, Lyric Pad for Android. Sadly, he also gave me his old iPad, and the Apple one doesn't have lyric pad. The one I use on Apple, they don't have on Android. So I have to learn 2 different systems of entering the text and all the rest of it. So I use lyric pad. So I've got a list here of songs that I might get asked for when I don't know the lyrics. I'm not going to learn them. Some of them I have, but some of them they're ones I don't really want to do them. But if people ask for them, I know the melody and I can get away with it. So let's have a look at this one, if I can see it. So they all laughed at Christopher Columbus or something like that. I think let's have that one. There it is. If you touch it, it starts to scroll. You can settle that. So put it there, back down, it stops. So I can have that there when I'm practicing. Leave that there for a second. This is his, my friend's iPad that he gave me, another old one. But these don't have to do much. They only have to do text, which is easy for them. Or this, which I use, which is... So here I have my... I've done a video on iRealB. Very, very useful. So these are all the songs. They're all named with AB at the front. All my songs, I've got the chords and the songs I know. So about, I don't know, knocking on to 200 coming up. And let's say I want to do this one. So those are the chords. You can change the key and it changes the key on the chords itself, but it does a cheesy backing. No, sorry to say cheesy. It does sound a bit cheesy to me. Don't forget it's just coming through these speakers. So if I press, I've put it on a pop funk feel. You can change the key. It'll change the key of the backing. You can change the speed. You can change the key by semitone increments. So if you want to practice a new song, you can enter it into this or download it. There's about 1,000 of, and there's Beatles ones and there's Stevie Wonder 30, I think, that you can get from the forums already there. I tweak them because I want this music in it, and I like music to be music, so I want to hear my own chords, a bit of a jazzer. So that's what we do a little bit. I take the time. I've only done about 30 actually. I've got over 100 and something to do, but never mind. Bit by bit. So if I do this, no, I don't. If I do that and press play. Put the speakers towards the camera. Yeah, okay, it's cheesy. But if I want to just practice along with... Oh, I want to do this bit because it's tricky. Wait till that goes. If I want to practice along with this song, it's round midnight, but I'm not singing what it is. I just can't get on with what I want to do, just to say how to... Back to the chords. I have this on all my devices, so I could play it on that. So what have we got? Let me look at my cheat sheet. That's it, pretty much. How fantastic is it? Innumerable backing tracks from the web, Wi-Fi'd straight there. Put your headphones on, microphone, put the flap down, practice. Innumerable backing tracks. You've got mine, thesingthing.com. You know what I'm saying? They're quite old, but I still stand by them. They're still useful. I still use them. Sound a bit cheesy because that was back in the day, MIDI but they're useful. So forget all that. Take other people's and do your thing over them. Do a little groove yourself and record it and put it on there. It seems to me it's absolutely wonderful. The question is, will you make use? Will you put the time in? Don't have to. Do what you like. But there, as I started, seems to me we've never had it so good. We don't know we're born.